Good afternoon. We are at the Wingfield property. We're going to be completing a repairability test. We'll be on the front slope, which is south. We have this damaged shingle we'll do the repair test on, and we'll see how it affects all of those surrounding shingles. I'll give you an overview of all of those shingles before we get started, showing you the current condition. Once we're all complete with the repairability test, we'll take another look and see those results. I'll be using a roof snake, flat bar, hammer, and putty knife. And we have this 45-degree tool that we'll use to give us a reference point for what 45 degrees looks like. Slide it underneath that damaged shingle. And I'll give you some views of that. All right, we'll get started with the repairability test. Start by unsealing all of those shingles. We'll use the putty knife to unseal the top shingle. And we'll use the flat bar to unseal the rest of those shingles. Got all of those unsealed. We'll start removing these nails now. High nail right up in here, so we may have to manipulate these shingles a little bit more than we'd like to get that. All right, we got all of those nails, so we'll go ahead and simulate an actual repair. To do that, we'll just slide that damaged shingle out, and we'll slide it back in, doing everything you would for an actual repair, so that should give us the most accurate results in determining whether or not this roof is repairable. Got that shingle back in place. Start getting some nails in there now. We'll be using the roof snake for that. All right, we're all complete with the repairability test. I'll give you another overview of all of those surrounding shingles. Take a closer look at these shingles right above that wind damaged one. You can see stress fractures along these shingles here that we did have to lift in order to complete the repairability test. What those stress fractures are is the matting on the shingle breaking in that area just due to the age and condition of that shingle. You can see where the matting broke, and that'll be damaging the integrity of these shingles, also affecting their water shedding capabilities. We can feel where they're much weaker in those areas with the stress fractures. It's going to not allow those shingles to do what they're designed to do as best as they should. Let's give you some side views of these shingles as well. You can see where there's that sharp bend in the tab from that stress fracture. So you can see it real easily from the sides there. Same thing here, you can see where that matting is broken. And then we also did have quite a bit of mat transfer. You can see that right there. There's chunks of matting. We can see where those were transferred from the bottom of that tab there, leaving that exposed fiberglass we can see. So that'll also be damaging the integrity of those shingles. As we can see, matting being torn from those. That one as well, real bad. A lot of mat transfer along that one. Same thing here. Got mat transfer underneath every one of these shingles, and just want to point out as well, we used that putty knife to unseal the top row and then the flat bar to unseal this lower row. We can see mat transfer along both of those rows, and that's going to be where the mat transfer is occurring as well. When you're unsealing those shingles, that some of that matting is just sealed down real well, so we can see it's just sticking to that tar line and getting ripped off from that tab there. So either tool that's used, whether it be the putty knife or flat bar, you can see it's going to cause very significant mat transfer there, and on top of damaging the integrity of those shingles, it's also going to make it more difficult for those shingles to reseal properly once repairs have been made. As we can see, that piece of matting stuck to the tar line now. So I do not believe repairs are feasible to this roof. As we can see, the condition that those surrounding shingles are going to be left in. They're going to be left with stress fractures, mat transfer, all damages where there'll be potential water intrusion. You can see the wind damage on this roof is very widespread. We got it all over this front slope here, got it all over that left slope. It's all over every slope on this roof. And so we can see from this repairability test what all of the shingles surrounding those wind damaged ones are going to be left with. They're going to be left with stress fractures and mat transfer. We can see 3 additionally damaged shingles at least. So there's going to be 3 additionally damaged shingles for every single one of those repairs as well. And then this insured is going to have potential leak hazards all over their roof anywhere there is needing to be repairs completed. And then I also wanted to point out how this front slope is going to tie into this left slope as well. So you can see once we reach this valley here, we'll have to make repairs from the wind damaged shingles up. And eventually we're going to get into this valley where, in order to complete the repairs on the front slope, these shingles on the left slope will have to be manipulated. As we can see, the front slope shingles go underneath. So in order to complete repairs there, we'll have to manipulate these in the valley, most likely causing damage to those shingles on the left slope as well, and have to make repairs up from there. I just wanted to point out how that front slope will tie in to some other slopes. But other than that, I do not believe the roof is repairable, and I'll go and chalk up all of those damages that occurred and get some better pictures of those. Thank you for your time.